Thanks for visiting Buffzone.com. My name is Kyle Ringo. I'm the CU beat writer for the Daily Camera newspaper. With me, as always, is veteran Daily Camera sports columnist Neill Woelk. Neill is just beside himself this week because last week, CU basketball coach Ricardo Patton decided that he's going to resign at the end of the season, or maybe not necessarily resign, but he's not going to pursue a contract extension.
Probably the interesting thing about his whole announcement was, Kyle, that he said he would not seek a contract extension, neither would he accept one if one were offered, indicating that he's going to have a great year this year and that they are going to be begging Ricardo Patton to come back next year. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that, that this will definitely be Ricardo Patton's last year. I think he'll do a good job with the young kids, and I think it's time for the Colorado basketball program to move forward.
Neill, didn't this move come out of left field for you?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. I mean, I certainly thought that Ricardo would do his best to get a contract extension. He's got a young team, but he's got one great player with Richard Roby. I thought that he would, try and coach these kids up this year and prove that he deserved a contract extension. And instead, he took a lot of pressure off of himself by making this announcement.
There's a small faction of people out there who believe that Ricardo Patton has been mistreated in this whole process, that he deserved a contract extension last year after his team won 20 games, finished, fifth in the Big 12 conference, and went to the National Invitation Tournament and lost to Old Dominion. Where do you come down on that?
Two fallacies with that thought. The winning 20 games in college basketball today is not near as big as it used to be because you can schedule so many people like the Savannah States, the Mercers, the Dartmouths, the East Tennessee State Tech. Ricardo's non-conference schedule has always been one of the poor non-conference schedules in the nation. Thus, he's had a chance to build up a lot of, basically meaningless victories. The other part of the equation is fans. You don't even have to work. Don't even bring NCAA tournament berths into the equation. Although he's only had 2 in 10 years, which most coaches don't get 10 years to do that. Fans in the seats. They have had horrible attendance. They finished last or second to last in the Big 12 almost every year that Ricardo Patton has been here. And when you get to that point and your program is losing $800,000, $900,000 a year, $1 million a year, you have to make a change. You cannot afford to have a program that should be making money losing that kind of money.
Neill, you make some valid points there, but...
Oh, wait a minute. Would you say that again?
No.
Go ahead. Okay. That was the first. I made some valid points. Kyle Ringo admitted it.
It is a first. But here's the deal. One could make a completely valid argument that Ricardo Patton's tenure here as the basketball coach at CU has been the golden age of CU basketball. I mean, they've gone to the postseason 6 times. They've been to the NCAA tournament twice.
How many postseason wins does he have?
Which they didn't do in more than 30 years before he got the job.
They've gone to the postseason. They've gone to the NCAA basketball tournament because there are 64 teams. Had there been 64 teams when Bill Blair was here, Bill Blair would have gone a couple times when they finished second, third, fourth in the Big 8. The problem with that is he's taken them to another level. I agree. I agree that the Colorado basketball team has improved under Ricardo Patton's tenure. But again, I go back to the very bottom line, which is the bottom line. It's money. People are not buying tickets to watch this program. They have to make a change so that they can get people interested in this program.
Yeah, but that doesn't all go on Ricardo Patton. I agree that some of it does go on Ricardo Patton, but Mike Bone, the athletic director, has said it himself. This athletic department has failed Ricardo Patton, and for that matter...
Failed the basketball program.
It failed the basketball programs.
Indeed.
Over the last 10 years. And Ricardo has managed to overcome those shortcomings and produce, NBA players, be competitive in the Big 12. He hasn't just been competitive. He's been up in the top 4 or 5 teams the last few years.
He's got a losing record in the Big 12. For his career, he has a losing record in Big 12 play. He has the record for the largest margin of defeat in the history of the Big 12 basketball tournament. He's been to the NCAA tournament twice. He's won 1 game, and he did that because he had Chauncey Billups, who turned out to be the number 3 pick in the NBA draft.
But he recruited Chauncey Billups.
That's fine, but has he done anything since?
I mean, you got to give the guy credit.
We can argue all day long about whether Ricardo Patton is good
or bad. He also coached
for the
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah. Oh, were you here then? Chauncey Billups coached.
Look, bottom line is you can't just say the guy doesn't deserve credit because Chauncey Billups was here when when he's the guy who recruited Chauncey Billups and he's the guy who coached Chauncey Billups, but he doesn't deserve credit?
Ricardo Patton deserves credit for bringing this basketball program up to the next level, but it would have stayed at that level forever as long as Ricardo Patton is here. It would have stayed at a step maybe above mediocre, to the point that every 4 or 5 years they would have been hoping to go to the NCAA basketball tournament. It has to get better. People are not going to buy tickets to watch the basketball team coached by Ricardo Patton. That has become painfully clear. They've made it. The change is going to be made. Now it's up to Mike Bone to go find a good basketball coach who will engage the public, engage the fans, and get them excited about CU basketball. It's a simple equation, Kyle.
You know what, Neil?
You want me to explain that to you one more time?
I was talking to Jason Shelton last week. Jason Shelton served as assistant basketball coach under Ricardo Patton for 4 seasons before he took a head coaching job at his alma mater in Tennessee. And I was talking to him about Ricardo and the job he's done here, and Jason said that, you know, the athletic administration at CU has admitted that the program wasn't getting the kind of support it needed through the past decade or so. But Ricardo has been able to overcome that and been able to bring the program to a level it never had been at for such a sustained period before. Jason Shelton's point is, what would happen if Ricardo Patton finally did get the kind of help that he needed?
Ricardo Patton can't coach, okay?
I would have liked to see that happen. I would have liked to see Ricardo Patton get 2 or 3 years with the kind of sustained help and support that the program deserves.
It would have been the same thing we've seen. Ricardo Patton can't coach, okay?
There's no way you could say that. You don't know that.
Can't coach in the Big 12. Ricardo Patton's record against the second time around, okay, the second time he sees coaches in the Big 12, he loses 6 out of every 7 games he plays against coaches in the Big 12. That speaks volumes about his coaching abilities against the best coaches in the nation. Bill Self, everybody else in the league. Rick Barnes, Bob Huggins is in the league this year.
Bob Knight. This is a great coaches conference. They're not going to get any better under Ricardo Patton. The decision has been made. I don't even know why we're arguing about whether Ricardo should be here or not. Now the argument is who should be the next coach. Tune in next week on Buffzone. We'll tell you who that's going to be. Really?
Yeah.
We're going to tell them who the next coach is going to be?
Well, you're going to name it.
Okay.
It's up to you, Kyle. We're putting this all on you.
All right. Okay. I'll do my best.
Okay.